Allison, and I'm going to show you today a little bit of how I edit my photos to get them ready for my teacher showcase. Because I'm going to be printing in cyanotype, I don't need this image to be particularly in color, but I do need it to be brighter and a little bit more visible with some higher contrast to make this print look really, really well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I do in Lightroom just so you can see a little bit of my process. So I have a picture of one of my close best friends, Alexis, and I went out downtown with her as they have the holiday lights. So I took my camera. I kind of messed around with the depth of field just so I could get that kind of photo going. So I wanted to edit and get it correct for cyanotype printing. So eventually what I'm going to first do is select my subject because I want to isolate her and enhance her a little bit more. So I'm increasing the exposure because I need it bright and vibrant. I'm also going to go and increase the contrast just a little bit. Some shadows, I can kind of mess and increase that. So I'm going to probably make them a little bit darker because I really do like that navy blue on her, and I think it's going to pop out a lot better if I kind of move that over to the left. And because I do want my black to be a little bit richer, I'm going to go ahead and move that into the negative as well. So with that, I'm going to adjust some small things in the exposure. I'm happy with how that looks currently at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead, because like I said, I don't need it in color. I'm going to go ahead and make it monochrome. If I can look a little bit closer, it's a little grainy, but that won't really affect my print too much as it's going to be zoomed out. You're not going to see those particular details. So I'm going to go ahead and go back just a little bit. Everything looks to be looking good in terms of the photo. I'm going to decrease and move around. Her hands, her jeans seem to be pretty well lit, and there was some good lighting that was already there, so I'm happy with how that's turned out. Now I want to kind of play around with the exposure just a little bit more on the whole entire image to see if I can get the wood looking a little bit brighter with a little bit more contrast. Okay, eventually what I'm going to be doing is cutting this image out and placing it on top of another background, kind of like a collage, or maybe as a double exposure. So that's currently what I have. I'm going to go ahead and save it as a JPEG just so that I have that. I'm going to leave that in my showcase folder, and I'm going to go ahead and export. So hopefully as I open that, let's see. See now what it has, it saved as a color image. So I'm going to go ahead and mess around with a little bit of the color as well. I think it still has it under. I do have a lot of presets, which makes it a little bit easier to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and find a black and white one that I can work with. Usually under basics. There we go. So these have some high contrast. That might be also really good to work with, but I think that is probably where I'm most comfortable. If not, yeah, we're gonna try the save one more time and see if it'll save in black and white for me. If it doesn't, we'll go ahead and adjust as we need. Yeah, perfect. So I there now have an image in black and white ready to kind of move over to either Photoshop or Procreate to go ahead and then work on my double exposure or kind of like my collage image for my teacher showcase. So there you go.